Hey guys, welcome to Good News York. I'm Matt from Growth Mode Content, joined on my other side today. This is weird.
Yeah, I don't over here with you.
I don't. You're too close. But Mikey B is with us.
Yeah. Matt's getting his fourth grade pictures done today. he's got his dress shirt on. You look good.
We need the laser background.
Yes, that was the one I always picked.
I love. My wife said the same thing. It's like, wow, what do you dress? I literally just put on a different shirt.
You look good.
I guess this is what happens where you wear hoodies 98% of the time.
Yeah.
I look like looks like a tuxedo. I put on a button up. I'm still wearing jeans. Like
No, you look great.
I appreciate that,
You look
buddy.
great.
I appreciate.
You look great, and you're still getting heckled for it.
See, it's
exactly.
I'm
not
story of my
That's
life.
okay.
What are you gonna do? The reason Mike's on this side is because we got a couple of guests over here.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Yeah, so I'm Jeremy Dorn, co-owner of Stonehammer Homes with my brother Chris here.
That's Chris.
That's Chris.
I was going to introduce myself, but
Can you tell they're brothers?
I love this. I'm an only child, so I don't have this experience, but I just love when I see anytime you have family members that are doing stuff. You guys are you're not twins, but you're always together working on incredible things. And that's something we want to talk about. Before we mention that, though, I want to say, I was driving by your place, and I know you're moving to a new one, so I don't know if you've done it, but the current one there.
Yep.
2 incredible bald eagles.
What?
Flying straight over top the roof of your place. They must have just come out of the water or somewhere near there or something. And I don't know that I've seen too many bald eagles in Camillus recently. And it was just incredible. I happened to be driving by and I see those. That's their place. Shit, they're coming on tomorrow. It was just a neat little
Yeah.
In my head, I just
neat
heard
thing.
America.
Yeah. That plays in your head anytime you see it.
Yeah. Did you guys plan that? That's amazing.
It was
it's just a big heron.
yeah.
Yeah.
But these gentlemen own, as you mentioned, Stonehammer Homes. And if you haven't figured that out, what they might do is they build some of the most incredible homes you can find, mostly in the 315 area. I don't know if you gentlemen go
Mostly, yeah. Yeah.
much out of there.
Yep.
But why don't you tell us a little bit about how'd you get into this business and end up here?
Yeah. So, Chris and I have both been building houses since we got out of college in the early 2000s. We've been in construction. We've been in construction management, sales. I mean, you name it in the housing world, we've done it.
Gotcha.
And almost 9 years ago now, we decided if we're going to do this for somebody else, why don't we just do it for ourselves and do it better?
Yeah.
And, we took a huge risk. We both have families. We both have bills, right? We both have responsibilities. And we quit our big corporate jobs and we started our own home building company. And it's not a super easy business to break into, right? Like people don't just flock to you to build a house.
Sure.
Because you had a new home building company.
Right.
It's a pretty big investment for folks. So it took some time to grow. Like I said, now we're on year 9. So we've done a number of parade of homes. We've had some incredible projects. We've got an amazing team that works for us, incredible designer, and our portfolio just continues to grow and grow. And it's really just attracting some amazing buyers that want to do some cool stuff that, we're traditionally not seeing in this market.
Yeah.
Right? Like typically in Syracuse, we're used to seeing like vinyl sided boxes, and that's
Right.
just kind of the housing that we do here.
Sure.
And we're starting to get a lot of people that are like, I really like the way these houses in North Carolina and Arizona and Texas look. Can we do that here? And it's like, well, of course we can do it here, right? So, and that's what we've been doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Talk to me about that. I like when you mentioned, getting started and the challenges in that. Talk to me about that first house. Was that one that you were able to immediately sell to a buyer, or was it a spec house? How did that work out?
Yeah, I'll let Chris answer that question.
Yeah, so that was a combination of things. So it was actually my in-laws were building a house, and we took an opportunity to, put a number to it, and it was kind of like start the business and that house all in one. Give them a smoking deal in a house.
Yeah.
Basically, I was like, we're gonna charge you just enough that like if we decide this is a really bad idea, we don't lose it.
Sure.
Lose our houses, right?
Right.
So,
Oh, man.
so we basically took that leap with that house, and it was a really good house, helped us get to the next house. And then we had, a big network from being in this city. We grew up in this city, went to college in this city, worked in this city. So like that next house just like organically came like in the middle of that house and like allowed us to just kind of keep going, which was also another great project. But so it worked out that, timing was good, project was good, and, we took the jump.
That was great.
And you looked like a badass to your father-in-law. I could never do that. Like, I would be such a hero to my wife. I'm like, I'm going to build your family a home. Like, that's the most manly thing I've ever heard.
I mean, also, I feel like it's a little brave, of all the people that might be very nitpicky. I feel like in-laws are the top of that list.
Yeah.
So the fact that was your first endeavor, my hat's off to you, buddy.
Like everyone's a little nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you guys don't get divorced over this.
Yeah. Chris, we're lucky. Chris' in-laws are just amazing human beings. We did have to bid the project against other builders, so it was like actually competitive, and we were like hustling trying to win it. So I really appreciated that process. Right?
Yeah.
Like that should have just been our job, and maybe it was, but they didn't lead that on to us. So, we had to make sure our numbers were sharp. We had to make sure the scope of the project was sharp and the schedule and all that stuff. And, you can only imagine how hard it is building a difficult house for somebody while you have another full-time job building houses for another company, right? So we were basically moonlighting at night, and when we could break away at lunch, we would go up there and check on things and pick up material and whatnot. So it really worked out great. And then one house quickly led to the next house.
Yeah.
Just really started the spiral.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the process. So we talk about you guys building. Do you guys also design? How does that all come to be?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So people come to us at all different phases of this process, right? Some people are like, hey, I think I might want to build a house, right? And they don't have land, they don't have plans, they really have no budget. And those processes usually take a little longer to develop. Some folks will come to us and they already own property. Some folks will come to us and they own property and they already have plans designed, and we just need to put a number to it.
I see.
We're able to jump in really anywhere that the customer is in their journey. We have an architect we work with specifically who does a lot of design work for us. We have an incredible in-house interior designer who does interior design for all of our clients. So, when you guys are looking at our photos online, you're going, that's sick, right? Those are super sexy. That house is amazing. A lot of it's her helping coordinate with the owner.
That's awesome.
Right? Picking tile and counters and cabinets and lighting and all that stuff. So, what we'll do is we'll get involved early on. We'll help people vet property. Like, Matt, if you're like, hey, I want to be in Camillus, I want 1 acre, and I want some woods, right? We'll help put you on a search for how to find that.
Gotcha.
If you find something, you're like, I think this is the one, we'll come out, take a look at it. We'll talk about the feasibility of building, any hidden costs that may exist. If you go under contract with the property, then we'll start designing a house. The house is usually specifically designed for the property. Once the house is designed, Chris and I will put pricing to it. We'll provide a very detailed pricing and proposal. If everything meets the customer's expectations, then we move to a contract and we start construction.
Wow.
And, houses nowadays are taking longer than they used to pre-COVID. You're probably seeing things from 8 to 12 months. Some go a little longer than 12 months deciding on depending on the scope of the project. But yeah.
That's incredible.
Are you guys at this point, are you still getting your hands dirty? You're involved in the actual building process? Or are you doing more of the administrative side of things at this point?
Yeah, more administrative side for us at this point. We've got some really great project managers. We've got some carpenters in the field, and some just really incredible subcontractors that we work with,
you
too.
look like you could build a house by yourself.
Yeah.
You're listening and you can't see.
It would take forever.
jacked.
It would take forever, but
I don't know.
You might be able to figure it out.
Chris, let me ask you, what's your favorite part of the whole endeavor here? What do you like the most about this business?
I mean, really the end product.
Yeah.
So you get, it's building a house is not easy. It's like there's obviously a million parts. There's a lot of people involved, from the different subcontractors, the clients, the suppliers, and there's obviously a lot of things that just, quite frankly, it doesn't always go perfect. Right?
Yeah.
But when you get to the end, you got clients who are nervous the whole time that things aren't going to go right, or maybe the money's not going to go right, or they're going to get to the end and then we're going to be like, you owe us $1 million, more.
Right.
And and you get to the end and like these people finally realize that all those fears can go away and their house is done. And like our goal is like really turnkey. So like when you move in, like you just put your stuff down.
Yeah.
And so like when people walk in and they see that that's like true,
right.
that's hard.
So it's like Extreme Makeover Home Edition, like that. I used to love that show.
Yeah.
They reveal it. That's
They,
the most.
they do the big reveal, but like it is they walk in and like that's.
Yeah.
Always fast forward to the end. I'm like, I don't care about. I want to see.
Yeah.
it. So you guys kind of get that effect.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Right. But still, that's awesome.
And and you try to make sure that the house has enough design elements that like you don't need a lot of artwork. You don't need a lot of decor. It's like, hey, you've got beautiful windows and trim and built-ins and kitchen cabinets, and your lighting's awesome. That, like, a lot of people come and they roll in with a whole tractor trailer full of pictures and artwork and stuff, and there's like really just nowhere to hang it because it's just getting in the way of some of the natural beauty of the house.
Yeah, that's I love that. Danny and I have had conversations recently about the lack of design in so many things, and it's, you look at a lot of older properties, older buildings, and they have intricate everything, and they're really cool. And it seemed like we've gone through this period of the most boring cookie cutter, no design elements ever. And, when I hear you guys talk about doing something different, and obviously I've seen a lot of your incredible work, it's true what you're saying. I love to hear that, because that message needs to be spread far and wide.
Yeah.
These horrible, ugly, boring buildings, we got to.
Yeah.
I don't know who came up with that trend, but it needs to go away quickly.
Now that's a new goal. Like, build yourself a house so beautiful that you don't even need to decorate it. I've never thought of it that way. That there's beauty in the design itself.
Right.
Wow. These guys.
That's
That's
why they're killing it over here.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love that. I think that's great advice when building a house.
Yeah. I briefly mentioned your office over in Camillus, but I believe you're expanding, or you're in the process of that. I know that's been, is that moving forward? I know you've been looking for a while for a bigger space.
Yeah. So that happened last week.
Gotcha.
So,
One weekend.
Yeah, we're 1 weekend, so we're
Nice.
getting settled down at the Dietz Lofts downtown off of Wilkinson Street.
Okay.
We basically tripled our space. We've got space for our project managers, our designer. We've got an incredible conference room, super sexy.
That's awesome.
So just a really good spot to inspire ideas and, get people excited. Big conference room screen so we can show some pictures and help.
No artwork, because
Virtually no artwork. Yeah.
Any artwork on the
Well, it's an old building. It's an old loft lantern factory. So, like, the building is awesome. There's a lot of brick and steel and, 100-year-old hardwoods and stuff
I'm
like
a
that.
sucker for exposed brick, man.
Yeah. 14-foot ceilings, and it's really cool. Very cool space.
That's great. I'm glad to hear. I know, like I said, you guys have been talking about it for a while, trying to find something like that, and I'm glad you've been able to land that. That's really cool.
I thought for a minute we were all going to end up at Remington Arms.
Yeah.
In Ilion, but
I was trying.
It just didn't happen, right?
Who wants that building so bad?
Somebody beat us to it, so.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
They haven't announced what they're doing with it yet. That's the big question mark, but good as long as something happens.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Something has to happen. A building of that magnitude.
It's already got vines growing all over. It's crazy. But anyway, that's great. I really love to hear all about that. Something else we should mention is you're part of an association that I'd love you to talk about a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about the home builders?
So I'm the president of the Home Builders and Remodelers of Central New York. We're an association of trade professionals that work in the housing industry. We host a number of different events, but stuff that probably people would most notice would be the Home and Garden Show at the fair and the Parade of Homes.
Gotcha.
Chris and I, our company's participated in the Parade of Homes 4 times. We're looking forward to participating next year for a 5th time. That event's really helped grow our business. One of my biggest pushes as the president, and Chris is a part of the leadership role there too, is to increase membership. So,
Gotcha.
We've obviously got Micron coming into town. There's this huge influx in housing. We're trying to increase the housing permits by 800% over the next 10 years. So from almost 300 to 2,500. So we really want to build this association up. Like, if you've got a touch point with the housing market or building, whether you're a real estate attorney or insurance provider, or you do marketing, or even someone who's in IT, right? Like, we have 200 members who, we're in home building, so we need IT services, virtually all of us. So there's really a need for almost every different field within our association to help our association flourish. So we're making a big push right now for a membership drive coming up in a few weeks, and really hoping to have a substantial number of new members and grow that association so that we can help the community grow.
The association does a good job of networking too for that. So, like, if you're in the association, like, there's member mixers and there's golf tournaments and there's clam bakes and stuff as long as you're willing to show up.
Sure.
There's a lot of opportunity to mingle and get to know people, and you'll see people coming as a banker, and also they know every builder in town, right?
Right.
Sell mortgages, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's for years I've heard great things about your organization from different people that's in it. So that's really cool. Parade of Homes. So for folks that aren't familiar, correct me if I'm wrong, the idea is you take a neighborhood somewhere, basically, or build a neighborhood somewhere, basically, right? With a number of different builders and folks who are able to check out these houses. Is that kind of an accurate description of that event?
Yeah, definitely. So last year's event was at Timber Banks, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, out in Baldensville. And basically, we've got a blank street of lots. It's a new road. We have a lottery. Each builder picks a lot.
Oh, wow.
Then we design a house, and we usually have like anywhere from 5 to 8 custom homes. And it's really an opportunity for builders to put their best foot forward and show the general public, what they can do.
Sure.
We get about, it varies in the year, but it could be anywhere between 10 and 15,000 patrons will buy a ticket and they'll come walk through all the houses. They're all professionally decorated. We usually have food trucks and sometimes there's bands and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's a great opportunity to shop for builders. It's a great idea to get ideas for your own house.
Sure.
And it helps drive revenue for the association too. It's a really, really great event for us. I can speak, for Chris and I that it's been amazing for our company to basically put up a product and get 10 to 15,000 people to walk through it in a 10-day period and see what we can do, right? Hand out some brochures and talk to folks as well.
Sure.
So
that's such a neat event.
Yeah.
And then and afterwards, what's really cool is if you love this thing, you can buy it, right? And
yeah.
all those houses are for sale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some are pre-sold, so they'll be.
Gotcha.
Maybe we'll call it half and half. Usually.
Okay.
Or the builder connected with the buyer.
Sure.
The house for the buyer, and then the other half are usually for sale.
I mean, that seems like a little safer deal for the builder, but
Sure.
they're all of them are so beautiful. I don't think anybody has any trouble moving them, right?
Yeah.
We usually take the perspective of we want to do something different. Like we were talking about
Sure.
housing styles up here, so like we always do a house. Like we did a black house, and like not a lot of people in Syracuse were doing black houses.
Right.
That's
4 years ago,
incredible.
right? So like. People came in and they're like, "What? This is crazy! I've never seen a black house before."
No,
But I love it.
Yeah.
They have the chili cook-off in follow me here. The chili cook-off in Ithaca in February, and so all these restaurants compete with chili, but they'll roll out the cart like they're going to do a chili that's going to stand out, and I feel like it's kind of the same effect. It's your Super Bowl, You're gonna give your best.
Yep.
So that's what a great event. I love that.
I wonder how that comes to be afterwards when everybody moves in, because you think about that, like, it's meet the neighbors. Literally, all of the neighbors are at the same time. That's kind of a neat, you know.
Yes.
You don't have any of that. Hey, I've been here for 3 days longer than you. I'm the old guy here in town.
Well, and it's funny too because they've all been in each other's houses, right?
Yeah.
So they go to the event and like they know what your master closet looks like,
Sure.
right? Because they came and walked through it.
By the end of the event, we know we'll know the neighbor. We'll go,
Sure.
You're the neighbor from next door, right?
Yeah.
In the house over here.
Yeah.
They've come to our house 5 times during the show.
Yeah, it's funny because the public gets to see it during the event, and then what they don't see behind the curtain is like we've been planning this thing for a year. Right?
Sure.
We've been designing it. We had to buy the lots. We had to pick out all the fixtures and stuff. You've got to work with a decorator and a designer and all that stuff. So there's, when the doors open day one of the event and we're standing there in blazers and our mother usually is the greeter at the front door. There's a tremendous amount of work, time, and effort that's gone into getting to the event.
Yeah. I
For
can imagine.
all the builders. I can speak for everybody.
I can imagine. When you talk about building and delays and things like that, this thing's got a date, right? Like you got to have that house ready.
Exactly. And that's a good point. A lot of times we'll build that house on spec, which I know you covered in a recent show, because we can control the timeline a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
So we have our own designer, and we're not going to wait to pick light fixtures and plumbing fixtures because we're like, hey, Ash, you got to get that stuff done.
Right.
You got to move, right? Whereas if you've got a buyer attached to it, obviously it's a little safer for the builder to already have a buyer, but you're kind of at the mercy of them making selections. But everybody does a great job moving it forward, and so far in the years I've been a part of it, nobody's missed the deadline. So.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my dad had a house built, and I remember we lived out in Herkimer, way far away, but we came to Syracuse to the light store to pick out light fixtures. Mm-hmm. And just that process, you never imagine you walk around your house how many light fixtures there are. So when you're in a shop and there's just a million of them hanging from the ceiling, and then you got to try to pick, this one should go in this room, and I can only imagine, times every other fixture and every other thing. So that's
many options.
Right.
So many.
That's
Want
the
them on a
beauty
dimmer
of the
pack?
designer.
Right.
And then what they do is they tie them together so that all the style actually streamlined.
That's-
because I mean, I would go in and I'd be like, yeah, this is kind of over here modern, and then I got something over here,
Right.
you know, like. But she can tie all that together for you.
I'm with you. I'm like, that all looks cool, and none of it goes together, but it's cool, you know?
Yeah. And just imagine now, like the possibilities are endless with the internet, right? Like,
Sure.
so you could go to the local lighting
Yep.
department store and pick out lighting where there's, 100 different options, or you can get online and view thousands. Yeah. Thousands and thousands of options.
I know you said you guys have an in-house architect now, but was there ever a point along the way where, like, do you have to like stay up to date on modern architecture? Like, how do you kind of keep it fresh and see like trends in architecture and things like that?
Social media,
question.
Yeah.
right? So social media. So everybody's algorithm is figuring out what you're flipping through.
Sure.
So eventually you just start to see the same stuff, and then we start to share it with each other, and then we start to share it with the design team. And social media will help you see like what's trending in other parts of the country. So,
Gotcha.
Syracuse is a relatively small market, all things considering, across the country. So, your bigger markets, in Carolinas and Texas and stuff, I mean, there is just tens of thousands of homes being built every year. So there's a ton of inspiration stuff, right? Everybody gets stuff in their news feed. You think of Cribs when we used to watch Cribs
Yes.
on TV, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like that, right?
Yep.
So you see something that's really cool and you're just trying to recreate it or one up it.
I can imagine. Go ahead.
It's also the buyers, right? So
Yeah,
we've never
definitely.
built the same house exactly
Right.
twice.
Right.
So then you got these people, and a lot of them aren't in neighborhoods, right? So they're on a lake, or they're on a piece of farmland, or they're 600 feet off the road. So like these buyers have some inspiration from their property and other things.
Sure.
Like, and they all have their own lifestyle, right? So everything we do is custom. So you're getting a house designed to your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we're helping with the architect, helping to pull the elements together to make it look.
I worked with a tattoo artist that told me, he's like, I will never do the same tattoo twice on two different people. Like I always want something original about that piece.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of the same mindset. I can imagine you guys on vacation. You must be just constantly driving by. Ooh, look at that house. I like the roof on that. Do you guys do that? Do you
No,
find
we
yourself-
we drink as many margaritas as we can when we're on vacation, and we bury our head in the sand
Yeah.
and
There
try
you
to
go.
enjoy ourselves.
That's the right way to do it.
No, but we actually
at nothing
do
but
that.
landscape.
That is 100% true, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, we were literally like, the market research never stops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm not in your line of work. And when I'm on the road, I'm always like, oh my God, I love the way that porch
Yeah.
looks, So
Yeah.
I imagine that must be a constant thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I went to the Parade of Homes in Saratoga last year, just to check things out. And they do a different type of event. And actually, we're going to do something similar next year. But they do what's called a scattered site Parade of Homes. So instead of being in one neighborhood on the same street, they're all over town. And you get like a passport, and you go from house to house to house, but you've got to drive there. It's a little more challenging, obviously, because you got to hit the road to see everything, but it allows the builders to build a lot of different product and showcase a lot of different stuff that you can't necessarily put in one neighborhood.
Right. And at some point, I feel like there's got to be a limit to the developments or ones that have open lots and things, I would think.
For sure.
So that's got to be a challenge.
For sure. And all the towns, local towns, I mean, obviously we know there's a lot of growth coming.
Sure.
So everybody's trying to grow very deliberately, right? We
Yeah.
don't want to just be like scattered with thousands and thousands of cookie cutter builder grade houses. So the towns are being very deliberate about what they're allowing through and approving for subdivisions for builders to move forward with. So it's been an interesting growth phase. Like the demand is there, the lots aren't necessarily there. We're like growing slowly, but about to grow really quickly.
Yeah. Along those lines, are you seeing people looking for things like in-law apartments and sort of extra units in the house for those reasons?
Yeah.
Yeah, more like not necessarily like a true in-law, but like a potential, right? Like my parents are getting older. At some point, they need to move in. So like this bedroom's going to be a little bigger. It's going to maybe have a tiny kitchenette. It's going to have its own owner's suite style bathroom kind of thing, like the just in case. Almost.
Yeah. No, we've talked about that ourselves for our parents. Like I don't want them in the house, and they don't want to be either. They want their own space, and it makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
But
Panic.
to kind of share some space would make a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Do you guys find, because you hear the old saying, like you shouldn't go into business with family. How is that dynamic with two brothers? I feel like there's a benefit.
That's a great question.
Because I feel like you can be like, fuck you, and then
You can be honest.
and then go back to business, where that's hard to do if you're not related. I don't know.
That's pretty much how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
But most days not, but there's days where it goes like that, and we're like, get the end of the day, we're like, want to have a beer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, it's great. Chris and I have different strengths in the business. We have different roles within the business. We complement each other very well.
That's great.
Our mom works with us too, and she's absolutely amazing. She wears a lot of different hats, as you can imagine, like most moms would. But we just see things differently. We both have an entrepreneurial spirit, and we literally see how to run this business differently, and then we just come together and we just make it work. We honestly agree on 99% of the things that we get into. So it works out great. And, our goals are aligned. Our trust is incredibly aligned.
Yes.
We went to college together. We live 2 houses next
wow.
to each other. So
Jeez.
we're
Spend
super
a lot
tight.
of time together.
We do.
Awesome,
Yep.
man. I love
As you know, right? Our time in Profound, like we're
Yeah.
attached at the hip with it.
No,
So.
that's awesome. I'd love to hear that too. It was a great
love,
question,
man.
buddy.
Yeah.
Brotherly love.
We duked it out enough when we were little that like,
Right.
we got it out of our system.
Yeah.
Right.
Not
Like
enough energy left to keep.
yeah.
I think the biggest element though is trust. Like you're not going to be able to trust. It's hard
Nobody
to
in
trust
business.
anyone more than your
Right.
brother or your sister or something
Right.
like that.
Right.
Yep.
And I think that's wonderful. And I think like in any sort of process, especially a creative process, because I would consider what you guys do. Obviously, it's blue collar, it's manual labor, but there's a lot of creativity to it as
Oh, yeah.
well.
100%.
That people don't give enough credit for. But in my experience, my ideas have only been made greater by other people. So I think whatever you
Yeah.
said you're lacking that he brings,
Yeah.
and vice versa, I
Yep.
think it makes you both better.
Yep.
right?
100%.
Because it's a different point of view.
Yeah.
It's a different skill set. So
Yeah.
it's a good recipe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I don't have to worry about Chris stealing coffee mugs or hoarding pens or anything like that. Like,
Danny,
Yes.
Oh man, fellas, I know I got to get you back to building houses here in a few minutes, but one of the last things I want to ask you is, tell us a little bit about some of these trends, if you wouldn't mind. A couple of these maybe design elements, things that are coming, might not be in the market yet, but are going to be popular in homes. Any neat innovations, things along those lines that
or
come to
something
mind?
you're seeing a lot of lately. All of a sudden,
Sure.
That's a little.
yeah, we're definitely seeing like a shift away from the farmhouse style.
Okay.
People are moving away from white shaker cabinets in a lot of instances. We're starting to see some more color, some more warmth. We do still see a lot of, black window designs and stuff like that. A lot of outdoor living, so front porches, back porches, terraces, stuff like that, even though, it's
We're
only
going to get back to the days of the big wraparound porch like they used to do.
maybe, yeah, maybe.
Victorian-
I mean, it's only nice weather in Syracuse for
Yeah, right.
60 days a year, so
be down.
maybe those go away. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's really funny the way things trend. So, a lot of the things you're going to see are going to be trending in like tile and lighting and counters
Okay.
and cabinets and stuff like that, and not so much like the design. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add?
I mean, the reality is different buyers have different preferences, right?
Gotcha.
We're doing everything custom. So you don't come and you say, hey, you can pick from these 5 hardwoods. Like you
Sure.
go to our hardwood store and they have 3,000 hardwoods, right? So like, we might build a house over here that is a totally different. They don't even look like they're the same designer,
Yeah.
right? But it's really about the person going to the store and saying like, this is kind of what I'm looking for and helping tie that type of design together versus like this type of design together. And it's about like just tying what they really want at the end of the day together. So there's definitely like some trendy stuff. Like you see a lot of board and batten siding now that you didn't see 10 years ago. You see a lot of black windows you didn't see 10 years ago. White oak is like, people love white oak.
Yeah.
But it's really at the end of the day, like, we might do white oak in every house for last year. And then like this year we're doing 10 different things. Only one house has white oak in it.
Sure.
So it's like our buyers are all different. And they're from, some of them are out on a 40-acre piece of lot. It's like a farm kind of, and they want that farm style versus someone who's over the lake and they want that lake style with blue cabinets.
Outside of hardwood flooring, is vinyl flooring still a thing? Is that still king right now? Because that was big, 5-10 years ago. Everybody was getting vinyl.
Like the
flooring.
vinyl planks. And,
Yeah, it's like it snaps together, but it's like waterproof. It kind of looks hardwood,
Gotcha.
like hardwood, but it's not. And I don't know. It's more affordable, but it's good.
I think there's a lot of things where they're trying to use plastics instead of wood, right?
Yeah. We don't use a lot of that on our projects. Our people are usually getting into like
Hardwood.
8-inch white oak type
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But the luxury vinyl plank is still super popular. It's affordable. And I think that affordability is probably the biggest thing you're going to see and term you're going to hear in home building, right? So prices are through the roof, right? So the price of building a new house has almost doubled since before COVID.
Wow.
So a lot of the challenges we're all up against is how do we still build this big, beautiful, sexy house and not spend $3 million on it, right?
Right.
And keep it under $1 million, which is even becoming a challenge. So, the market and the buyers are having to get a little creative. It's weird to feel like you've got to make sacrifices in your house build when you're spending $1.5 million.
Right.
But like the reality is you kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
You can't have all $2,000 faucets in your house and still maintain a budget. So there's that's probably one of the biggest challenges in home building is just maintaining expectations and budgets and still making sure that when the house is done and you deliver it to the buyer that like they're stoked, right? They're like, this is sick. This is exactly what we wanted. You guys delivered. And not like, hey, we spent a ton of money and like we didn't get, right? It didn't land where we wanted it.
And would you say that's the biggest reason somebody would build rather than buy an existing home is that custom element? They want it to be completely unique, or are there other kind of driving factors that might make somebody want to build rather than buy?
Yeah, I think that's one of them. I think, here locally that the prices on the resale market have gotten so high, right? So like people are spending $400,000 or $500,000, $600,000 for a house that was built in the 70s or 80s. And it needs $500,000 or $600,000 of love to it, right?
Sure.
Or renovation. And even when you spend that money, you renovate that kind of house, you still have 8-foot ceilings, right? And you still have maybe a leaky basement. You're not on the best lot. So I think that's what's pushing a lot of people to building is they don't want to buy something existing and have to renovate it. A lot of the folks we see that are building are, either baby boomers looking to get into like a retirement one level.
I see.
We've got a lot of millennials that are just looking to get into something like their forever home. And they don't want to live in the houses like that we all grew up in.
Yeah.
Right? So they're looking to do something unique, and that's kind of pushing them to building as opposed to buying existing.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of
Are
sense.
you guys involved in solar at all? Is that something that's on your radar at this point?
Oh yeah, solar, geothermal. Yep, absolutely. Heat pumps.
Yeah, so we basically just connect with the vendors on that stuff because there's basically a federal tax credit, there's a state tax credit.
Yep.
So we basically will do the prep, and then the homeowner will run that on their end so that they make sure that they get all the credits associated with federal.
I'm always interested in that, but I get overwhelmed because there's all these companies that claim, we're the best, and I don't know where to go.
Well, yeah, and half of them are just nonsense. Yeah.
Well, one came to me, and I was close to pulling the trigger because I'm interested in it, but then I was like, wait a minute. So what happens when I need to redo my roof? Well, you will have to uninstall. I was like, there it is. I'm so glad I thought to ask that because those are the little loopholes you don't think about.
Yeah, and solar is amazing. It's a great product. Solar providers are not apples to apples, right? Like anything. Like you can get 3 or 4 different quotes, and they could be wildly different, but their scope of work will be vastly different.
But you're not. I mean, at this point, it's safe to say that there's really no companies that are out to get you. They're all fairly reputable. The ones that are out there on the map.
Yeah, I mean, I go back to the Home Builders Association, right? So, like, if you're shopping for a reputable contractor, that's a great place to shop, right? Like, so they're basically we vet these folks out before we bring them in as members.
Okay.
And there's like a level of accountability that we hold. So that is like an amazing place to search for contractors. It's almost like your local Angie's List.
Oh, see, I didn't know you could do that. Right?
Yeah.
You go right to the website, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yep. And you can search by like,
fantastic
different industry, right? I'm looking for solar. I'm looking for a builder.
What's the name of the website?
The Home Builders and Remodelers of CNY. So HBRofCNY.com.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's,
Awesome.
that's really where I've been at. And in these kind of interviews, I always represent just the general public. I'm not hugely knowledgeable in this, so that's important to know because, like I said, I'm interested in solar, but I didn't know who can I trust, where can I go. So there you go. Thank you for that.
Are you? I remember the last time I attended a parade of homes. The modern efficiency and the energy and things like that was a huge factor that a lot of the places had on display. How much of that are things that you have to now accommodate for that you maybe didn't have to in your design? Like, are there extra wires? Are there extra piping, things like that you have to now account for some of these modern?
Yeah, I mean, that
solutions?
stuff is always evolving, right? And a lot of it just evolves with code, right? Because, with all of that stuff also comes cost.
Sure.
Right? So code is constantly changing. Like literally this year, we're talking about as of January 1st, like we can't put gas to a house.
Yeah.
And so all houses will have to be electric only. So electric stoves,
Really?
no gas fireplaces, no gas furnaces, any of that stuff.
This is a state thing? State?
Yes,
Yeah.
New York State. It's part of that climate action thing that state passed a few years ago. So, these are like the challenges that are coming constantly
Sure.
with efficiencies and stuff. So especially as we all talk about climate change and all this other stuff, these things just keep changing and changing and changing.
So I would assume on a state and federal level, when there's an administration change, you guys kind of be in tune with what changes, right? With regulations and grants and whatever else. Is that something that you've got to kind of pay attention to?
Yeah, and it's something that our association, so when you're a member of the local association, you're also a member of the state association, you're also a member of a national association.
Oh, wow.
So you're kind of it's like a triple tier association. So we get, fed a lot of this stuff that you don't, necessarily have time to be on top of all the time. We get to
They have their folks plugged in. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
the luxury of getting the Cliff Notes version of all
Yeah.
this stuff, right?
No, that's
Okay.
great.
And the association helps, lobby and do the types of things that needed to get are appropriate for our association.
The last thing I'll ask you is that I've heard some talk about sprinklers.
What?
Tell me a little bit about that and how that might play out if you got to put sprinklers in homes.
I love that.
Yeah, so same thing. This is another thing that's been getting really it's been getting passed around in potential
Sure.
for I think over a decade. This past spring, I think we're over the hump, but they almost required sprinklers in all new houses. They decided not to, so it's only. But it will if you build, I think, townhouses with 3 or more units.
I see.
You're gonna have to start putting sprinklers in. But essentially, if you put a sprinkler system in, you're gonna have pipes running through your house, and you're gonna have basically a second water service that comes in. You're gonna have something to maintain, honestly.
Yeah.
So obviously, in the case that there's a fire, it's excellent to have a sprinkler system.
Yeah.
But the reality is, a lot of fires are in houses that are much older
Sure.
and aren't going to have sprinkler systems
Yep.
regardless. So it's, on our end, it's one of those things that's great if it saves a life.
Yeah.
But it also is a cost.
Sure.
Item for every new construction as we fight cost daily.
For folks that are real apprehensive about the look of the thing, we think of these sprinklers. We've seen a lot of buildings are retrofitted and there's just a pipe running in the middle of the wall. Can you just talk for a second about how that might work in a design? If you're planning for those things from the jump, can you make it look a little better?
Yeah, I mean, in new construction, all these pipes will be in the wall,
Yeah.
ceilings, not in the walls. But and the heads will be like what they call a concealed sprinkler head. So we'll just have a white circle cap on
Sure.
the ceiling that you see. So you won't necessarily see an exposed head. You maybe see exposed head in certain locations, in the basement or something like that. And it all depends on how the code gets passed. So
Sure.
if they tell us we got to sprinkler porches, then that's
Yeah, right, right.
thing, because obviously we live in Syracuse and that line will freeze in the winter. So there's, I used to work in commercial, and there's different ways that all those things get accomplished.
Yeah.
So really, if they write the code and it gets written to, you got to do all your porches too, then you got to have a whole separate system for that called a dry system so that those don't freeze. So
So first of all, it shows you how I don't belong in this conversation. When you said sprinklers, I'm thinking like the sprinkler on the lawn.
Oh, you're thinking lawn
like
sprinkler?
you run through.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, why are you at?
Standard with every home now.
Yes, yes. You have to have something fun for the kids. No, but the other
And slip
what
and
I'm
slides.
thinking of though is I remember growing up, my mom cooking.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And just the little bit.
How
of
often
smoke
you set that off?
and she'd be, you can't with sprinklers. It's spring. Is it that sensitive or is it okay?
They look for
That would be-
actual
it's heat.
Yeah.
So
Fire.
It melts like a little device that sets off the water.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
just picturing cooking. To get a little smoky.
No.
Next thing you know, I'm in 4 feet of water.
Yeah.
We had our place remodeled, and the new smoke detectors we put in are the worst. They go off for everything.
Really?
Drives me insane.
Yeah.
But yes, luckily that we wouldn't get flooded if that was the
Yeah,
case.
yeah. Well, and that's one of the challenges, right? So, the sprinklers are going to add about $30,000 a house in cost,
Damn.
right? Which is a lot of money. But also, the argument that they're going to save the structure is not really true, right? If you've ever been in a house where a sprinkler system's gone off, it is completely destroyed.
You go from fire damage to water damage.
That's what I was
Right,
gonna ask.
right. It is waterlogged from top to bottom, and everything has to get replaced.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different set of challenges with bringing a house back to life that's been water damaged as it is
Right.
smoke damage. So
So when the airbags come out of your car.
Right.
it's wrecked, right?
You know what I mean? So what's the point?
Yeah, right.
I guess to stop the fire, but
Yeah.
once it's activated, that's your toast.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Good times. That's why we have
I love these guys.
experts in an association that stays on top of these things. I love this, guys. I've learned so much in this conversation. You definitely need to come back anytime. Just real quick, when are the dates of these events that folks should put on their calendar?
Yeah, so Home and Garden Show is typically mid-March. We just had that
Yep.
a couple months ago, so look for the Home and Garden Show coming up, again, March 2026. Right now, we're talking about the scattered site parade of homes being next September, so September 2026.
Gotcha.
So we're all starting to work on our designs and our locations and all that behind-the-scenes stuff that I mentioned
Sweet.
before right now so that we can have a really cool show for everybody next fall.
That's
What
pretty
else you
cool.
got for plugs? Website, social media handles? What do you got?
Yeah, so we can be found on Facebook, Instagram, website stonehammerhomes.com. Come visit us at the new office space at the Dietz. It's a really cool spot. We've got some really nice things to see down there. And yeah, we're pretty easy to get a hold of and pretty accessible if you're looking for us.
Well, we appreciate your
That's
time,
awesome.
and especially me. I learned a lot from you guys, and if I'm ever building a home, I'm coming to you for sure.
We appreciate that.
I mean that.
You might have pulled up their Instagram already because you're the king of research. But if you look at these fellas' work, it doesn't get any better than that. So
Well, thank you.
It's pretty cool.
We appreciate that, guys. And we appreciate you guys having us on.
Top-notch
Huge
stuff.
fan
We
of the show. You
appreciate
guys
it.
are
Really?
Amazing. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
That
Well,
makes
we're a
our whole
fan of
thing.
you,
So.
And I love to see all of our friends on here doing all their
Absolutely.
thing.
We're
It's,
building a little community.
yeah.
Yeah, it's going great, and we're spreading the word. All of our creators are getting noticed all over town.
Oh, yeah.
it's
kinda
that's the wild part. They tell us, yeah, some guy in the street was like, "Hey, are you the one I saw in that video?" I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. That's
And we've got
the
our
whole
boy
point.
Danny behind the scenes
Oh,
over there.
Yes.
Man,
He's killing
I
it
also
back
realized
there.
I'm old today because at one point, and I wrote it down, I quoted, and I was serious. I said, clearly I'm in my 40s. I'm like, I'm a sucker for exposed brick. That's like the oldest man.
That's a very dead.
After I
yeah.
said it, I went, I'm a sucker for exposed brick. Wow. I'm
Yep,
fucking old.
you are.
But
you are.
I'm embracing it.
We'll add
Oh,
that
man.
to your fetish for lawn work, right?
Yes.
That's,
I
right.
love lawn work, dude. You know.
I'm a fan, dude. I'm a fanboy.
I love. This is amazing. Yeah, I'm a huge landscaping guy.
I don't even remember
creepy,
you
right?
saying
Like,
that.
You just met me 25 minutes ago, but like I know about you, Mike.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. I feel so cool right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I'm a sucker for
This
lawn.
has been awesome. Just a little programming note before we dip out of here. Tomorrow,
Oh yeah.
you're gonna recap.
Yeah. I went to the Dave Matthews Band concert last night, and holy shit, I was front row for the first time in my life.
Made new best friends.
Made new best friends. This mother and her two daughters. We were VIP front row buddies. We experienced some crazy shit, but at the end of the show, I turned to them and they were like, "Can we get your number? Because we have tickets." They wanted to sell me tickets that they can't go to a show. I said, "I'll do you one better," and I handed them a card and I said, "I think you should come on the show and we'll recap the show together." So I'm going to bring them on and we're going to talk about the Dave show.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then I got to I was starving, and as I'm leaving, Toss and Fire were there in their food truck. I grabbed a pizza pie and handed the owner a card. I said, "I want to get you on the show," so he's coming on. So I was working.
Nice.
I was, hey, my friend, just saying.
I'm still not paying for your
throwing
ticket.
out business cards. I was trying to get you to reimburse me.
Yeah, it's on your desk, Matt.
Side note, I got to get one of those hats, dude.
Yeah.
That's fire, right?
Yeah, we got a new line. We're working on all new apparel right now for our.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Guy.
I love these guys.
the best.
Yeah, it's great. If you need a home, Stonehammer's where it's at. I'm Matt. He's Mike. That's Danny.
We will see you tomorrow.
Peace out.
Thanks, everybody.